Welcome to Professor M's Matrix Reviews. Today we're doing a look at the Power of the Primes Windcharger. So these were the Legends class figures that they've done away with now, which are the smaller figures, more along the lines of something of the smaller Transformer types such as Windcharger, Bumblebee, Cliffjumper, that types. This figure comes in a standard blistered pack that they don't do as often any longer. This one I got from a seller on AliExpress for a fairly reasonable price. The blister pack itself is taped to high heaven, and the seller had put a sticker on the back, which is fantastic. But the packaging was in fairly decent shape when it arrived, and this is the classic Windcharger character from the very first season of Transformers. So let's go ahead and take him out and see what we got here. So let's go through. Now that we got the packaging open, let's take a closer look at him here. So there we have our Transformer figure in his blister pack. What comes with him? So we have a little pack on the back here. Once we get this out, which should be our instructions, and also I believe a card that comes with him. Let's take that out. So we have a card which talks about the power of the primes. It talks about his character. This is considered Onyx Windcharger. Charges through his enemies with unstoppable force. And then it's in multiple languages. Nice card that comes with this character. Get rid of the bag here. And let's go ahead and see about freeing him from his prison here. So let me get a pair of scissors or a knife to snip him out. So let's go ahead and free him from his prison. Alright, we should be able to slip him right out of his packaging. So here we have him in all of his tiny glory. Let's get rid of these little pieces of plastic before somebody eats them up. And so there is Windcharger in his tiny glory. He stands just about, let's see, so he's standing just about 3 3/4 inches tall, and in robot form is probably about just under 3 inches wide at his shoulders. So he has fairly decent articulation. His shoulders are on a ball joint in there. They will rotate a full 360 degrees. He has elbow joint as well as some elbow rotation. His fists are fixed. Same thing on the other side. Full rotation, elbow joint. His legs, let's take a look, see how well they do. They kick all the way up. They kick about that far back. They will do a full split, so he can, well, not quite, he can almost do a full Jean-Claude Van Damme split. He does have some knee, that knee is tight, some knee rotation, and getting it straight is fun. And there's not really a lot of ankle movement with this character. I guess you could technically move out some of this window here for it. But posing, obviously, is not going to be that much of a thing with this character. He does not have a ton of posability. But you can get him into some stances if he wants to stand up straight for me. And his head is on a pivot. It does not have up and down motion. Overall, standard type figure. So let's go ahead and do his transformation now. So let's get this box kind of back and out of the way. And so for his transformation, it's fairly simple. What you're going to want to first do is bring this kind of hood up. And what you're going to make sure is when you bring it up, because it can be a little tricky, you want to make sure that it brings it up and as far forward as you can get it so it's on his head. And then at the same time, you're going to kind of work his arms up and into their slots on the hood. So we're going to work up, kind of up and in with the arms. Because they're going to peg, there's a peg right here, and that's going to peg into the forearm itself. So we kind of work our way up, and then as you can see, there's that peg there. That's going to peg into the arms. So let's get this other one worked up and under. His joints are a little stiff. He is not broken in very well. He's not very housebroken. So there we got the front. Now we're going to come in here and we're going to pin the arms into their respective places. So, and then smooth out the joints a little bit. Mine does have a little bit of gap filling, I've noticed, in transforming him already. So we're going to make sure that it's all filled in as much as best we can. There we go, and everything's snapped up and in under the hood. So that's the basics of the front of the car. Done. Then we're going to come back here, and of course my piece just happened to pop off. That does happen quite a bit. So we're going to come back in here, we're going to pop that back into place, hopefully. Let's pop that back into place. I said pop back into place. There we go. And we're going to extend out his kind of skylight, or not skylights, sunroof and stuff. And we're going to peg in. You can see there's a peg there, and there's those two pegs. They are going to snap together to form the top of the car. So you want to come in here and kind of make sure that that all matches up. So once you've got that all matching up, and then you want to come up here to the front of the car and make sure the windshield's all pegged together. Make everything nice and neat. And then just like a lot of these other deluxes, the body of the car is just going to accordion up and into it. So it's going to come up and over, and then you're going to bring it down. Now, there are two pegs back here on the door that are going to slide under that back part of the car. And then the rest is going to kind of peg together, and you just kind of fit it all nice and neat. And get everything set up. And then we have Windcharger in his alt mode. He does have the wheels in the front appear to be pinned. These I believe might just be clipped in. Yeah, they are just clipped in. So he does roll fairly well. He is kind of small for his size, but again, this was the best Windcharger we had for quite some time. Let's bring some comparisons. So here's Legacy Evolution Crosscut, and as you can see, he kind of came apart on me again. Mine doesn't have the best tolerances. So there's Crosscut compared to him. So he is a deluxe size. Here's deluxe size War for Cybertron Siege Ironhide, and you can see the plastics on those two are pretty well matching. And then of course, like if you really want a comparison size-wise, here's Deluxe Generations Class Wheeljack, and you can see clearly by putting those two together, Windcharger is much smaller than Wheeljack. And so that's his transformation in general. I hope to have the newer version of him shortly, which would be the new Age of the Primes Windcharger, or Studio Series 86 Transformers the Movie Windcharger. He does roll pretty well. He's got nice wheels. Overall, I'd say he's a good figure. Tolerances aren't the best, but again, this was from the Power of the Primes period, and they weren't always the best back then. And, you know, what can we say? The good thing is he doesn't have a lot of self-destructible plastics, which is nice. Most of his plastics are good and solid. There's not much painted on it. You can see the back is silver. The hood, he's got that nice Autobot symbol kind of offset on the hood. So overall, I really like the look of this Windcharger. It was a really solid action figure for quite some time. And hoping that the new Windcharger that's coming out with Studio Series 86, Age of the Primes, whichever one it's going to be classified under, has a little bit more girth and size to him. The only thing I'll say about this Windcharger, he doesn't come with any accessories. So there's no gun, there's no anything with him. His magnetic powers, nothing comes with him. So we shall see with this new one that's coming out and see how it looks. But that's my review of Power of the Primes Windcharger. Hope you guys will like, follow, and subscribe, and I will see you for the next one.